So good afternoon. This is February the 16th, right?
March 16. March 17.
March 17th. Oh, March the 17th, Tuesday,
Yes.
2024.
Sunday.
Sunday. I'm making so many mistakes today. Sunday. And we are in MA second semester, creative non-fiction class at Central Department of English, where we have a presentation by one of us. So let's listen to the presenter.
Hi everyone. So today I am here to present on the topic Motherhood Who Needs It by Betty Rollin. Betty Rollin is a journalist, writer and editor, and she wrote this essay at the height of the feminist movement in America. So with the start of the 1970s, women across the US were inspired by the World War, Cold War, Vietnam War, and the Civil Rights Movement, and it had a dramatic effect on women and their dissatisfaction with their place in the society. So at that time, when she wrote this essay in 1970, I guess in 1971, in the magazine called LOOK Look.
Do you need a chair? Do you need a chair?
No, sir, I don't need. She wrote this essay during the height of feminist movement in the US. So the thing she talks here is that there is this assumption that we all are familiar with, the assumption that the eventual and inevitable motherhood is inculcated in the mind of girls at a very young age, that the girls think that they have to get married one day and then eventually conceive a child.
I like this idea. I like this idea. You see, she rightly said, as young girls, we are trained and taught, right, from our childhood, whether through our course books where they have pictures of mothers working, we are given indirectly this idea that it's good to be a mother, we need to be a mother, right?
Yes.
And this is not a good thing. Yes.
And then girls are given such advices that, for example, they are said that when you have children, not if you have children. So in their advices as well, they are sure that these girls will grow up one day and then eventually have children. And this is this myth I have written here as well, the motherhood myth that she questions. Not actually motherhood, but the motherhood myth that is perpetuated by culture, our society, and the ideology that women should eventually get married and conceive children. That is what she is against in this essay. Not actually the motherhood per se, but the motherhood myth. That means that the idea that having babies is something that all normal women instinctively, remember this word, this essay is all about, in this essay she repeatedly uses this word instinctively, want and need and will enjoy doing it. So this motherhood myth is such a concept that, which I already said as well, that idea that having babies is like what women want to do and will enjoy instinctively, that it comes within our heart, like yes, someday I will get married and then have children. Such kind of
instinct is something that is caused by your biology. For example, hunger is an instinct, sexual drive is an instinct. So people argue that the wish to become a mother is in the instinct, and this author says it's not in the instinct. That's why I asked these girls earlier, do you have the wish to be a mother? And they said, perhaps not.
And similarly, the essayist predominantly relies on the logos, meaning that she brings the references from different people, for example, biologists, psychiatrists, psychoanalysts, such people, in order to support her main argument that motherhood myth needs to be dismantled, like we studied in deconstruction, that it is under erasure.
So when a writer makes a strong logical appeal, please understand, the text has ethical appeal automatically. Because
Yes.
when you can make a good reasoning, good logical appeal, when your logic is very strong in your writing, people start trusting your statement. And as a writer, if you make very good reasoning, then you are making very good ethical appeal, because people think you have sound study, you have sound knowledge, you have insight of the subject, and they start trusting their author. So understand that logical appeal and ethical appeal go side by side. Go
Yes.
on.
So I would like to recite some of the lines
Yeah,
that
and if you can just, if
intrigued me.
possible, if you can
Yes.
show the text so people can see, you can use the mouse to scroll up and down.
Yes, okay, sir.
If you can show the text, or you can do Control F and type the word, and the cursor will directly show the text to you. Yes, so got the Control. Where is F?
Yes, sir. So,
Now type the
yeah,
text there,
okay,
and
okay.
it will take it directly.
Yeah.
If you have found the text,
Yeah,
show it.
I have found it. Like,
Okay.
see this one. Motherhood myth. The idea that having babies is something that all normal women instinctively want and need and will enjoy doing. Like, I already wrote that on the board.
She argues that the idea of motherhood is a myth. And what is a myth? Something that is false.
And she adds that the notion that the maternal wish and the activity of mothering are instinctive or biologically predestined is baloney, that it is nonsense. So we can see that she's giving her counter arguments against these motherhood myths that says that women are indoctrinated from the very early age to eventually conceive children.
When I was reading this essay for the first time, it was very difficult for me to read it. Because the ideas that she is expressing, I didn't agree. It was difficult. Even this morning I was reading, at many places I was quite angry with this writer. Because I wouldn't buy her argument.
Yeah, okay.
Go on.
If that, but however, I felt like very intrigued by her argument when I read
Yeah,
this
you are
essay
an
yesterday.
unmarried young girl.
Yes.
And I'm an old father, right? So we may have different perspectives,
Yes,
right? I agree.
And then moving on, here she talks about how the notion that motherhood is instinctive and it is biological destiny is not true, as it is like assumed by the people of our society. As such, like biological destiny, forget biology. If it were biology, people would die from not doing it. So
You understand that line?
Yes.
Forget biology. If it was biology, people would die from not receiving. Hunger is biological destiny.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
Hunger is we are biologically destined to eat. And if we stop that biological need, we will die. And her argument is that some people argue the birth canal is there, the womb is there, and if you do not want to become a mother, why the hell God put the womb there? One might argue. Then she answers, okay then, boys have muscles, so will you force every boy to be a weightlifter? Do you want to be a weightlifter? No. If you are having a muscle, don't want to be a weightlifter, why do you force her having a womb to become a mother? That's the argument. That's the argument. Did you get it? That's the argument. Go on.
yes, and then see this highlighted part. But if you are in a world where everyone is eating spaghetti, thinking they need it and want it, you will think so too. So here she is trying to relate this thing like spaghetti, the act of eating spaghetti, with the notion of like teaching young girls and women that they should eventually like conceive, and if they see other women bearing children, then they will also feel that they also need to bear children. So this is the
आमाहरूले छोरीलाई तेरो साथीको त छोडेर भइसक्यो भन्छ मै भन्छु त मै भनिदिन्छु छोराछोरीलाई तिम्रो साथी भेट त फेसबुकमा आज स्टुडेन्ट बच्चा बोकेको थियो भन्छ मैले उसलाई प्रेसर भएर हो उसलाई प्रेसर भएन बोक्नु पर्यो होइन
Yes.
स्पागेटीको
Yes.
एभ्रिबडी इज इटिङ सो वाइ डोन्ट यु भनेर एभ्रिबडी इज बियरिङ बेबिज सो वाइ डोन्ट यु यसरी प्रेसर हाल्छ कि
Yes, and in the same kind of argument is presented in the page number 293, where she talks about
293.
Yes, 293 यो कोटको तलपट्टि हेर त
ठ्याक्कै टेक्स्ट हाल्दा
Yes.
आउँछ ठ्याक्कै हुन देख्छ नि
Control F अनि word त्यहाँ भएको
Yes.
ठ्याक्कै त्यो टाइप गर्दा आउँछ त्यो दुईवटा वर्ड टाइप गरेर आउँछ
people
आइसक्यो
yes
अब यहाँ क्रस
this
गर
one कहाँ गयो
फेरि कन्ट्रोल लेफ्ट गर त कन्ट्रोल लेफ्ट कर्सर त्यहाँ राख अनि त्यहाँ क्रस गर कर्सर यहाँ राख पहिला अब क्रस गर अब
yes this one please look here this one similar kind of idea like we talked about spaghetti so here she says that the girls don't take dolls by themselves they are given dolls so that like they are reminded that they have to take care of that doll and like eventually the same thing some people point to the way little girls play with dolls as proof of their innate motherliness but remember girls are given dolls given ho haina ke ho okay
स्क्यान गर्दा कोही टेक्स्ट बुझ्यो होला
oh maybe so अगाडि नै जाऊ है अब चाहिँ यहाँनिर चाहिँ अब यो 287 पेज नम्बरमा चाहिँ
त्यो टेक्स्ट डिस्प्ले गरिदिनु है
ओके सर
ठ्याक्कै आउँछ त्यसले कन्ट्रोल लेफ्ट गरे पनि ठ्याक्कै आउँछ
यस
What is Rollin? Looks black. What is white?
इट्स भेरी इजी टेक्स्ट पढाएर पढ्नु एक सर्व पढ्दा बुझिन्छ
र यहाँ चाहिँ के भनेको छ भने
ओके पहिला कर्सर त्यहाँ राख्नु
there is no innate drive for children the thing that people think that there is this for like conceiving babies there is this innate drive भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ when she talks with the psychologist and a researcher the researcher says that there is nothing such as innate drive for children otherwise the enormous cultural pressures that are there are to reproduce wouldn't exist there are no cultural pressures to sell you on getting your hand out of the fire so everything that plays is the culture and the cultural assumptions
So her argument is that it's not about innate drive for
Yes.
bearing a child, rather it's because of cultural pressure.
and then here is also about यो लाइन हेर त यहाँ फ्रायडको भ्यू पनि उसले चाहिँ आर्ग्यु गर्छ यो कुरालाई पनि लिएर आएर and many psychoanalysts will hold the Freudian view that women feel so rotten about not having a penis that they are necessarily propelled into the child to wish to replace the missing organ like we have already studied the psychoanalysis and that criticism and many psychologists think that women kind of feel that they have this penis envy that's why in order to fulfill that they conceive children भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ यहाँ गरेको छ since every woman has a mother it is considered normal to wish to imitate one's mother by being a mother for example अघिको spaghetti को कुरा and then there's this thing like imitating one's mother by being a mother भन्ने कुरा अर्को भयो and then the another thing of the doll so she uses different images like for example of the spaghetti and the dolls in order to place her argument and another thing that is interesting in this text is that interestingly the woman यहाँनिर थोरै तल छ हैन this one look this जसले चाहिँ साइकोएनालिसिसको चाहिँ आर्ग्यु गर्छ नि यो कुरामा चाहिँ इन्ट्रेस्टिङली सी सेज द्याट द वुमन हु हेज बिन द ग्रेटेस्ट कन्ट्रिब्युटर टु चाइल्ड थेरापी एन्ड हु हेज प्रोबेबली गिभन मोर चिल्ड्रेन टु more to children than anyone alive is Dr. Anna Fried, Fried's magnificent daughter who is not a mother. See the kotro thulo contrast छ के from his father Fried, Sigmund Fried to the daughter Anna Fried. She is the one who takes care of children, or she is the one involved in child therapy, but she doesn't have a child. She is not a mother.
Chose not to be a mother.
She chose not to be a mother.
I'm angry with this author. Okay, even tell us.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'm not happy with this author.
Thank God your daughter studied something else.
And then see here, यहाँ हेर्नु त 287 कै this paragraph. Anyway, what an expert cast of hundreds is telling us is simply that biological possibility and desire are not the same as biological need. जे चाहिँ biologically possible छ,
Biological desire, not same as biological need.
women have childbearing equipment that they can bear children. To choose not to use the equipment is no more blocking what is instinctive than it is for a man who, muscles or no, chooses not to be a weightlifter. It is as simple as that. So much for the wish.
Right? So you can.
To
To me, it seems like fallacious. Okay.
And there's this another thing. Both mothering and mating behavior are learned, not instinctual. So yeah, even men can be like nurturing भन्ने कुराहरू छ हैन.
Is mating learned or
Mating.
I think instinctual.
I'm not easy to accept this argument. Mating, sexual drive,
Like
instinctual or learned.
Drive चाहिँ
It's not easy to do. We need to talk about sex.
how it has to be performed. They have to see something.
I mean, like, I think there's a
Nobody talking about it.
They don't even
It's okay.
Nobody.
nobody talks about it.
Huh?
It's
Instinctual.
Well, that's instinctual.
Sir.
Our argument is it's learned. Eh? What's he saying? Look, when mating is learned once, but I think it's instinctual.
Maybe they see like dogs on the street or cows.
Okay.
So,
I agree. She lives in her nature.
So
Okay, listen to her.
So in order to like support her argument, she first talked about the biological things and then about the psychological, and then she plays the risky part, the religion one. When and why then was the motherhood myth born? त्यसको लागि चाहिँ she tells that खै त कता गयो ए ओके.
So that's a diaphragm,
Diaphragm.
the female contraceptive.
Okay. Yes, here it is. यो रिलिजनको कुरा छ है अब चाहिँ.
तर यस्तो हुन्छ के रे सर यो कुरामा के when we are actually teaching the idea यो एसेको I think we should जस्तो हामी थ्योरी पढाउँदाखेरि पनि we don't like सिधै क्रिटिसाइज गर्दैनौँ नि. कन्ट्राडिक्टिङ थ्योरीहरू एउटा बुकभित्र चाहिँ एकअर्कालाई कन्ट्राडिक्ट गर्ने थ्योरीहरू हुन्छ. हामीले यो एसे पढिरहँदा चाहिँ हामी we should be faithful towards the idea of the author जस्तो लाग्छ.
Yes.
गरौँ के पर्थ्यो भने कोर्स पाउँदाखेरि
हजुर.
एउटा यस्तो एसे चुज गरिदिनु पर्थ्यो जसले यो आर्गुमेन्ट प्रोडिक्ट गर्छ र सँगै राख्नु पर्थ्यो क्या. दुईवटा भ्यू आउँथ्यो नि त.
एसे चाहिँ
कि मैले खोजेर ल्याउनु पर्थ्यो त्यो मैले गरिनँ.
ठिक त यो पढिरहँदा चाहिँ हामी यसकै आइडियालाई नै लाइक एक्सेप्ट गरेर पढ्नुपर्छ जस्तो
हो
लाग्छ.
हो.
So religionको कुरामा चाहिँ what she says is that.
Let's use English as much as possible.
Yeah, okay. So originally it was the word of God that got the ball rolling with be fruitful and multiply. So we even during our Dasai festival we hear this thing that like when when our seniors give us blessings they say that santanle danda kada thagun type of thing, and that comes from the religion we follow and the culture and the society we are grown up and the way we are groomed up. However, in the religion here is about like Roman Roman Catholics' position was thus cemented. यहाँनिर भन्न खोजेको चाहिँ के
You
छ
can
भने
connect this point exactly with Judith Ford's Coffer's more room argument.
Yes.
And the Roman Catholic position was thus cemented. So then, what position? Intercourse, even with one's legitimate wife, is unlawful and wicked, where the conception of the offspring is prevented. त्यही भएर त उसको मदरले चाहिँ हजुरआमाले चाहिँ कत्रो बच्चा धेरै बच्चा पाएको नि त त्यो पार्ट.
Yes.
Totally go on.
And in many cultures and societies, abortion is illegal. For example, in the US, there is this, in the almost 14 states, abortion is made illegal. Yeah, and Roe versus Wade, the law that there is, that it prohibits women from
But I will say,
adopting
you know,
abortion.
Abortion, especially I'll point this to the girls here. So लाइफमा सम्भव भएसम्म abortion नगर्नु. Because जतिसुकै सेफली गरे पनि जसरी गरे पनि abortionले फिमेलको बडीलाई irreparable हानि पुर्याउँछ.
अनि बच्चाको बडीलाई पऱ्यो
बच्चा त मार्छ त्यो शुद्धि हो. बच्चा त मर्यो अलग कुरा हो. बच्चा त मार्ने हो त मारेको हो नि त. तर आमाको बडीले यस्तो हानि पुग्छ कि त्यो लाइफ लङ त्यसले ट्रबल गर्छ. Never go for abortion unless it is threatening your existence. Never go for abortion.
And another thing that helped this myth to perpetuate is that whenever the women's rights increased, that whenever women became more aware about their rights, then this motherhood myth got increased. And then it soared higher than ever. She tells about it here.
When in 1960s, 70s, feminist
Yes.
movement was arise and women were talking about females' rights, and they were asking for access to family contraceptives, access to birth control. At the same time, there was a group of women who came up with the idea of motherhood, being mother. So this myth was in rise.
Sorry, how can birth control?
Material text? Wedding, ke text?
No matches one round. So I wanted to point out this one. How can birth control programs be effective?
How can
लेखिसकेको छ.
How can मात्रै लेख त.
How can?
Okay. हार्न त हिट गरेर त.
Okay, okay. It's here.
पहिला त्यहाँ लैजाऊ कर्सर.
So please look here. So the motherhood myth is glorified in such a way that she argues that how can birth control programs really be effective as long as the concept of glorious motherhood remains unchanged? And then here she is trying to say that when this motherhood myth is so grave and so deep that even when there are ways to control the population that is increasing, then it will not work, because even when, because that motherhood myth, like the idea that we have to bear children, it's so strong that it doesn't let any population control method work. And then let's move to page number 290. Here she uses most of the pathos, like another rhetorical strategy, and she presents the evidences or the interviews that she did with the mothers, and let's see what they have to say here. Suddenly.
Oh, yeah, suddenly.
Yes. another technique she uses. She directly interviews the mothers, and who say that, one of the mothers says that, suddenly I had to devote myself to the child totally. I was under the illusion that the baby was going to fit into my life, and I found that I had to switch my life and my schedule to fit him. You think I'm in love, I'll get married and we will have a baby. First there's 2, then 3, it's simply and romantic. You don't even think about the work. You never get away from the responsibility. So, yes, there's this motherhood thing, and then women always have to compromise or let go of their dreams and desires when there's this baby. So, even in the preceding other paragraphs, she brings such evidences from the mothers who tell that the worst time of the day is 4 p.m. when you have to get dinner started. The kids are tired, hungry and crabby. Everyone's want to talk to you about their day. Your day is only half over. So she's talking about the space of women here, like we studied in Judith Butler's More Room as well. When you have children around you, then you have to listen to their daily routine or daily diary. However, you are kind of limited into the household works and you no longer have your voice in the house anymore. Once a mother, the responsibility and concern for my children became so encompassing, it took a great deal of will to keep up other parts of my personality. To me, motherhood gets harder as they get older because you have less control. The experience was overwhelming. I want to do other things, but I don't have the physical energy to go out in the evenings. See how painful this is for the women who want to do something in their life while also they have to take care of their family. So let me give you an example. This depression that women get from having a child or bearing child, what is it called? Postpartum depression? Yes, postpartum depression is real and I have seen it with my eyes. For example, there's this woman in my community who I have to call my auntie. She is of my age and she's so ambitious, like she was so ambitious and she wanted to get enrolled into Lok Seva and then get a government job. However, while she was studying, she got pregnant and they didn't want to abort the baby, so she conceived the child. However, her actions and her behavior started getting changed after that. And her situation is like, I cannot even imagine how she might be feeling right now because she has given up each and every dream she had. She has even burned her Lok Seva's books. Even while I'm saying this, I have got goosebumps in my body. So that is so painful. You want to do something in your life, but you also want to like get married and have children, but the depression that it brings along or the losses that it brings along with it are unbearable. You can see this same thing in the page 291, last quote. If the creative woman had children, she must pay for this indulgence with a long burden of guilt, for her life will be split 3 ways between them and her husband and her work. No woman with any heart can compose a paragraph when her child is in trouble. The creative woman has no wife to protect from intrusion. There's this essay called I Want a Wife by Judy Brady. If you remember this essay, there she talks about, I want a wife who takes care of everything in home or takes care of children. A woman wants a wife, meaning that like she wants a personal space in her life. And this whole paragraph, this whole interview taken from like interview with Maria Mans is like very painful for creative and ambitious women. A man at his desk in a room with closed door is a man at work. A woman at a desk in any room is available. Yes.
बेडरुमको बर्थडेको ढोका लाएर भित्र बस्नुभएको छ भने पढ्नलाई सियास भयो बर्थडे चल्छ काम गरेर सियास ढेर हुन्छ द्याट इज वर्किङ हुन्छ कोहीको रुममा चाहिँ मदरले चाहिँ लगाएर कुर्सी बस्छ भने सी इज वर्किङ भनेर के म मैले बोलाएर सी इज अलवेज women are thought to be always available. Is that सारा मन परेको a woman at a desk in any room is available for work. You can call. But when लोग्ने मान्छे यहाँ बस्यो भने काममा छ this one right?
Yes, that is because a woman has to juggle with the household chores and also like go out and earn money.
What is your सुने उसले के भन्छ जगल भन्न पुग्छ 6-7 कुरा ह्यान्डल गर्ने के सँगसँगै
Juggle with the household chores as well as things outside.
सामानले
Yes.
यसरी पार्दै 5 वटा बल
Indian culture. That's it. Ramaswamy.
Mothering, salary or not, is a job.
Yes. Yeah, mothering, even if you get salary or not, then it is a job. Even those who cannot afford nurses to handle the nitty-gritty still need to put out emotionally, well cared for.
What I don't like about this is, if you realize the American culture, Western culture, is individualistic. The value of individuality, the idea that the individual is above everything, is at the heart of Western culture. In the Eastern culture, familial values are at the heart. In the Eastern culture, family is supreme. In the Western culture, the individual is supreme. So do you see, this essay is based on the Western value of individualism. And we, or I do not accept the value of individualism. I believe in the value of family. For me, the individual is secondary, family is primary. For this writer, the individual is primary, family is secondary. So if I feel difficult to read this essay because I do not agree with the very fundamental value of individualism. म चाहिँ personally individual family भन्दा माथि हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा विश्वास गर्दै गर्दैन किनकि म पूर्वी दर्शनमा विश्वास गर्ने मान्छे सनातन धर्म मान्ने मान्छे हैन म यहाँको नेपाली मान्छे म चाहिँ फ्यामिली ठुलो भन्छु र मैले चाहिँ फ्यामिलीको लागि पर्सनले सेक्रिफाइस गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने मेरो विश्वास उसले के मान्यो कि द पर्सन इज मोर इम्पोर्टेन्ट देन द फ्यामिली त्यही भएर म पर्सन इन्डिभिजुअल हो इफ आई वान्ट टु बी मदर आई विल इफ आई नट आई वान्ट टु उसले आई विल ल्यान्ड म के भन्छु नो your decision to become or not become a family is not important before the family मेरो भनेको okay you have to become a mother if you don't want because we have to finish the family together they were my God okay
So,
because I have difficulty because I do not hold that value of individualism.
yeah, whenever people give advice about having a good relationship or maintaining a good marriage, then one of this myth tells us is that when you have children, then it helps you maintain the relationship or like keep going on or something like that. And yes, and even this she talks about this expectation of the myth that
children. Study indicates that childless marriages are far happier.
So, yeah.
Will you agree with that argument? Childless marriages are happier.
I think so. For me, I think it will be. Like, it depends. So this is very subjective. This thing is very subjective.
20 वर्ष चाहिँ उमेरमा पाउनु भयो यस्तो जस्तो तपाईले त 20 वर्षको उमेरमा बच्चा पाउनु भयो हैन सो फर मोस्ट पार्ट अफ द अडल्ट लाइफ यु हेभ बीन अराउन्ड फ्यामिली विथ चिल्ड्रन तर हामी जस्तो अब यहाँ मास्टर्स पढ्न आउने एकजना मात्र म्यारिड छ एकजनाको मात्र बच्चा छ 24-25 वर्ष आई थिङ्क हामीहरूले भएको अभाइलेबल भएको अपर्च्युनिटिज र यो वर्ल्डमा हामी जस्तो अब बाहिर पढ्न जानेहरूलाई आफ्नो जब गरेर इन्डिपेन्डेन्टली जस्तो पोखराबाट यहाँ छु सो हाम्रो लागि चाहिँ अभाइलेबल अप्सन्सहरूमा चाहिँ आई थिङ्क वी इन्जोय यसरी अलिक बढी
Yes.
हामी चाहिँ अहिलेसम्म चाहिँ अहिले हामी न्युक्लियर फ्यामिलीमा हुर्केको होइन
त्यही पनि म्यारेजेस विदाउट चिल्ड्रेन भन्दा मलाई कस्तो सुन्दै अड लाग्यो नि कि किनकि मलाई त म्यारेज भन्ने शब्द मुखमा आयो कि बच्चाको कल्पना आउँछ नि त मलाई म्यारेज भनेको दिमागमा आयो कि बच्चाको कल्पना आउँछ बच्चा बेलाको म्यारेज कस्तो हुन्छ
So, but this thing is Sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's continue.
Yes.
Hello.
So let me remind you guys, let me remind you that she is not against motherhood, she is just against the idea that perpetuates cultural hegemony over the motherhood. Okay? खासमा चाहिँ she is not against motherhood as like per se, not in its actuality that motherhood is bad or something like that. She just wants to say that the cultural expectations or the imposition that culture has over this motherhood is problematic. So that's why she is giving these arguments. And see, the major expectation of the myth is that children make not so hot marriage hotter or a hot marriage hotter still. Yet almost every available study indicates that childless marriages are far happier. But I think this is...
उसको study हो, West
Yes,
को,
that
हामी
is,
कहाँको
yes,
हैन नि?
I know.
नेपालको study हैन नि हो, हैन? उनीहरूको culture मा हो।
Yes. However, the fact that women are dominated, occluded, is the universal thing, no? And I think this thing has to be subjective. If a woman wants to have a baby, the woman who doesn't want to have baby should not accuse her of having a baby. She has to respect that opinion, her perspective. And if a woman who wants a baby also should respect the woman who doesn't want to have baby. That's completely subjective for, I think so. One of the biggest of 850 couples was conducted by Dr. Something is that the couples with children had a significantly lower level of marital satisfaction than did those without children. So this also talks about sexuality, these kinds of things. Children make for additional demands, complications and hardships in the life of even the most loving parents. So yeah, that's why it is complicated.
बच्चा-बच्ची भएर हैरान पार्यो बच्चा त कस्तो माया लाग्छ बच्चालाई काखमा खेलायो बच्चालाई किस गर्यो बच्चालाई चाहिँ माया गर्यो कति सेटिस्फाइङ हुन्छ म त पढेर पछाउनै नसके
Yes sir, but
I'm sorry, you may disagree with me.
Let me add another thing that comes along with conceiving a child, like through biological conceiving or cesarean surgery or something like that, or having conceiving baby by a woman by herself is also brings more challenges in her life, because for that motherhood, for the parenthood, for the nurturing, she has to give up her many years of life for that. She not only has to conceive the baby, she has to like bear the baby, like conceive it for 9 months and then bear the baby, and even after that she has to nurture the baby, and in that process how many
हाम्रो कल्चरमा जननी जन्मभूमिश्च स्वर्गादपि गरियसी भनेको नि त
I think that is
रोल प्ले गर्ने भएर
yes.
वुमेनलाई हाम्रो कल्चरमा चाहिँ हेभन भन्दा माथि राखेको मदरलाई
I think that is also the glorification of motherhood के यो motherhood myth कै part हो
Okay.
त्यो पनि I think so. So let's move on. See,
he is working on his career while you are working on your family.
yes. So this is the open fact that a woman who conceives a child will lose many years of her life in the process, and the man will not. So that's why motherhood myth is.
यहाँ पनि मैले डिसएग्री गर्छु यहाँ पनि डिसएग्री गर्छु ल मलाई उदाहरण देऊ न ल एकछिन तर्क उमर कुरा गर्छु ल मेरो मिसले बच्चा पाउनु भयो हैन अनि मेरो मिसले बच्चा पाएर उसको तर्क मान्दाखेरि मेरो मिस धेरै गरेर कमाउनु भयो लोकसभा दिन पाउनु भएन मास्टर्स गरेर पाउनु भएन ब्याचलर पाउनु मैले माने यो लेडिजले के कुरा बोल्दैन भने मेरो मिसले बच्चा पाएर फ्यामिली भएपछि बच्चा पाल्नलाई मैले त 16 घण्टा काम गर्छु नि दिनको फ्यामिलीको लागि उनीहरूले बोल्दैन मैले बच्चै नजन्मा भए मिस र म मात्रै भए त 2 घण्टा काम राइ पालिन्थ्यो के मैले बच्चा जन्मा भएर त्यो बच्चा हुर्किन्छ बच्चाको खर्च बितिनु पर्छ लुगा किन्नु पर्छ खर्च गर्नुपर्छ म चाहिँ बिहान 4 बजे उठ्छु 5 बजे घर छोड्छु 6 बजे क्याम्पस जान्छु बिहान 3 घण्टा पढाउँछु यहाँ पढाउँछु बेलुका पढाउँछु म बेलुका 9 बजे 10 बजे घर पुग्छु म डेली 16 घण्टा त अहिले म काम गरिरहेको छु किन बिकज आई हेभ फ्यामिली कसलाई फिड गर्न मेरो वाइफलाई बच्चा बच्चीलाई फिड गर्न घर मेन्टेन त्यो कुरा लेडिजले बोल्दै बुझ्यो नि त उसले के भन्यो भने एउटा आमाले आमा हुँदाखेरि त्यो नानीलाई भन्यो नि आलुले किन लोकसोधिन पाउँदैन मैले मानेर पढ्न पानु एउटा मदर भएको कारणले धेरै कुरो गुमाउँछ भने नि आई एग्री तर त्यो मदर भएर बच्चा जन्मेपछि त्यो बच्चा फ्यामिलीलाई सपोर्ट गर्न त्यो घरको हस्बेन्डले मेलले कति एक्स्ट्रा लोड दिएर त्यो कुरो बोल्दै बोल्दैन
त्यसो भए त
प्रज्ञाको कुरा हुन्छ अब प्रज्ञा के भन्यो I agree. The women who want to be successful in corporate world, they should have one part. I agree. अब के हुन सक्छ? Let's. अब question आउँछ.
Individuals with dreams, individuals with limitations.
यही कुरा आयो. You said look at them as individuals, right?
Yes.
Then I said, okay, let's look at them as individuals, but let's also raise the question, where lies the family? How do we continue the family? Institutional family. Your question is, right? How do we continue the institutional family without breaking individual dreams? This is my question. Very good. How can we continue the institution of family without suppressing individual dreams? That's my question.
There seems to be a revolution in the structure of the government of the whole world.
गरेको त अमेरिकामा वेलफेयर सिस्टम बनाएको छ तर त्यसले झन्
अब यो रिभोल्युसनमा in this revolution मलाई के लाग्छ भने okay I agree there should be revolution there has to be revolution there will be going on I agree in the structure of government structure society I agree तर यो स्ट्रक्चरले सबै कुरा ओभरफ्लो गर्ने हो कि फ्यामिलीलाई how is my question is yeah how do you continue or are you willing to or not willing to go with the institution of the family when you have this question whether I'll be able to carry my dreams or not. That's my question. तिमीले आफ्नो ड्रीम लाई क्यारी गर्ने
There
कि
must be an equal partnership between the man and woman. The man should be able, the man should take the responsibility, half the responsibility of the
ओके ल मैले माने ल फेरि भने इक्वल मैले माने ल सुन मैले माने
The man must also belong, the man must also belong.
मैले माने सुन प्रज्ञा अहिले मेरो श्रीमती घरमा बस्नुहुन्छ हैन उहाँ घरमा हुनुहुन्छ घर बनाउनुहुन्छ होला हैन भाडा माग्नुहुन्छ होला पकाउनुहुन्छ घरमा बसेर अनि मैले के गरिरहेको छु म घर बाहिर निस्केर मैले काम गरिरहेको छु के म बिहान 4 बजेबाट कामलाई प्रिपरेसन गर्छु 6 बजे काममा जान्छु म त्यसलाई पालो दिन्छु र बेलुका 6-7 बजेसम्म कन्टिन्यू काम गर्छु बिरामी पनि लिँदैन मैले यो सारा कुरा यो सारा कुरा गरेर एन्ड अफ द मन्थ जब स्यालेरी आउँछ मैले स्यालेरी खातामा राखे पनि मेरो वाइफ पनि एक्सेस हुन्छ कि वाइफलाई दिन्छु घरमा पुर्याउँछु मेरो आर्गुमेन्ट के हो भने मैले मेरो वाइफलाई घरको काम गराइरहँदाखेरि आफूले काम अवार्ड गरिरहेको छैन मैले पनि काम गरिरहेको छु म घर बाहिर गरेर काम गरिरहेको छु
Excuse me. बाँचेर बस्नु भयो
त्यसमा आई एग्री कि जस्तै हस्बेन्ड वाइफ दुईजना मानिलिनु मेरो वाइफ पनि जब हुनुहुन्थ्यो र हामी दुई बिहान अफिस जान्थ्यौँ सँगै फर्किन्थ्यौँ भने किचनमा छिरेपछि सँगै काम गर्नुपर्छ आई एग्री त्यो कुरा अहिले गर्छु कि हस्बेन्ड वाइफ दुवै जब गर्नु छ भने दुवैले सहयोग गर्नुपर्छ र के पनि अगाडि गर्छ भने त्यो ग्रेट एक्सटेन्ट अहिले हाम्रो कल्चरले गर्दाखेरि हस्बेन्ड वाइफले काम गर्दाखेरि घर आएपछि हस्बेन्डले किचनमा काम गर्दैन बेडरुममा काम गर्दैन वाइफले काम गर्छ त्यो गर्दै वाइफले दिनभरि पनि काम गर्छ बिहान बेलुका पनि काम गर्छ यस अर्थमा चाहिँ वर्किङ वुमेनको डबल सिफ्ट काम भइरहेको छ घरमा पनि वर्क गर पेमेन्ट आउँदैन बाहिर काम गर्छु त्यो म अगाडि गर्छु के पनि अगाडि गर्छु भने हस्बेन्डले 50% अगाडि गर्छु तर म के अगाडि गर्दैन भन्दाखेरि उसको कुरामा अहिले राइटको कुरामा कि वुमेनले यो लस गर्छ यो लुज गर्छ भन्दाखेरि वुमेनले मदर भएको कारणले धेरै कुरा लुज गरिरहेको छ भनिरहँदाखेरि म्यानले पनि फादर भएको कारणले कति एडिसनल बर्डन बेयर गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुरो बोलेन कि
But it's also that all men do not want to become fathers. All men do not want to become fathers. Even if
तर यो तपाईले भन्यो नि all men do not want to become a father. It's so difficult to hear this sentence के मलाई
no, it is because the people who end up becoming a dad, as put in also biological dad, they will be a woman and when they will accept it down in our in today's society. They run away from
तिमीले के भन्दै थियौ आरती जस्ट लिसन टु आरती
It's okay.
वास्तवमा सबै आरतीले स्ट्राइक लिसन टु
So I think what we need to understand is that from at a very young age, men are like taught to be a breadwinner and women are taught to be a family woman. Like and that's how they are brought up. They are given the dolls. Women are given the dolls. They are taught the value of nurturing. A woman, her mother teaches her to nurture, and then she expects her daughter to nurture the children in the future. And I think we have to understand that women have been inside the house, like women have been occluded and kept inside the house at a very young age, and men are given the opportunities to go outside and work. And I think that is the thing we have to understand here, I guess. And whenever men say that women like we have to do work in such a way that it makes our family a family or something like that, we have to understand that women are not given opportunities to go outside and work in many cases, in many families. So let's move on. Okay.
हस्बैन्ड वाइफ दुवै वर्किङ भएका केही मान्छे चिन्नु चाहिँ हेरिरहेको छु है जहाँ चाहिँ बिहान हस्बैन्ड दुवै 9 बजे अफिसमा निस्कनु पर्छ बेलुका आउनुहुन्छ होइन मैले के देखिरहेको छु भने त्यो हस्बैन्ड वाइफको वर्किङ हुनको कारणले भर्खर बच्चा जन्मेको छ अनि बच्चा हेर्ने चाहिँ मान्छे राखेको छ अनि सानो यङ एजमा स्कुलहरू भर्ना गर्छ त्यो हेर्ने मान्छे नभएर अनि त्यो हस्बैन्ड वाइफले काम गर्दाखेरि बच्चाले प्यारेन्टल केयर नपाएको छु मैले अनि कस्तो भइरहेको छ भने दुवैजनाले काम गर्दा पनि फ्यामिली चलाउनु गाह्रो भइरहेछ हस्बैन्ड दुवैले जागिर खाइरहेको छ तैपनि दुवैको कमाइ जोड्दाखेरि पनि फ्ल्याटको भाडा तिर्न बच्चाको स्कुल फी तिर्न अनि मेन्टेन गर्न पुगिरहेको छैन कि एकातिर दुवैले काम गर्न पनि फ्यामिली चलाउनु पुगिरहेको छैन अर्कातिर दुवैले काम गर्नुको कारणले त्यो बच्चाले केयर पाइरहेको अनि मैले गरेको के लाग्यो भन्दाखेरि बच्चा जन्माउने हो भने कन्सिभ गरेको दिनदेखि लिएर बच्चा 4-5 वर्षको बेलासम्म आमाले जब नगर्ने र गभर्मेन्टले बरु त्यो त्यस्तो आमाहरूलाई 5 इयरसम्म इन्सेन्टिभ दिने हो कि इकोनोमिकली पैसा तलब दिने हो कि 10,000 20,000 दिने हो कि के गर्ने हो तर अहिले के भइरहेछ भने आमाहरूको इकोनोमिक फ्रिडमको ड्रिमको कारणले जब गर्न पाउनुपर्छ भने ड्रिमको कारणले फ्यामिलीमा चाहिँ ब्यालेन्स ल्याउन नसकेर अनि बच्चाहरूले पढ्ने मलाई लाग्छ यो अघि मलाई थाहा छ त्यो के भन्छु जुन बच्चा जन्मेर बढी गाह्रो भइरहेको छ कि बच्चाले केयर पाइरहेको छैन ब्रेस्ट फिडिङ गराउँदैन ब्रेस्ट फिड गर्ने बेलाको बच्चा छ आमाको ब्रेस्ट दुध आइरहेको छ ऊ अफिसमा छ बच्चा घरमा छ त्यो त भने नि त बच्चाले दुध खान पाएन भने त उसको ग्रोथमा त असर पर्छ नि त यी कुराहरू हेर्दाखेरि इट्स डिबेट तर एउटा प्रश्न बुझिरहेको छु यहाँ नानीहरूको मनमा के छ भने उसको मनमा के छ भन्दाखेरि हामी हाम्रो फ्रिडम हाम्रो ड्रिम हाम्रो एस्पिरेसनलाई हामीले फुलफिल किन गर्न पाउने आई अग्री गर्न पाउनुपर्छ मैले पनि मेरो छोरी एलएलएम पढाएर बिहा गरेँ र अहिले पनि लखनऊमा काम गर्छ म चाहन्छु कि मेरो छोरीको कुनै पनि ड्रिम क्रस नहोस् तर एट द सेम टाइम मलाई वरि के भइरहेछ भने यो ड्रिम बोक्दै क्यारी गरे सँगसँगै फ्यामिलीलाई पनि टाइम दिने केयर दिने कि नदिने कसरी दिने द्याट्स माई कन्सर्न
There is a system in Scandinavia.
भोलि एउटा डिबेटै राख्नु जस्तो लाग्यो
This is fun.
They can take 3 years after giving birth. They can take leave for 3 years and then wait. As a father, you can also take 2 years.
So they are developed countries economically, financially, हामी कहाँ possible नभन्नु
That's a good one.
तर आइडियली तिमीले भनेको कुरा कुनै आमा हुन्छ भने 5 इयरलाई 23 सालले देऊ न जति 30,000 माग्नु पर्थ्यो मदर भयो भने 5 इयर 40,000 दियो भने त घरले गर्छ नि डिपेन्ड्स अन अब ट्याक्स पेयरको मनी हो ट्याक्स पेयरले
We need such policies भन्नु
तर आइडियली इट्स अ गुड पोलिसी कि कुनै आमालाई उसले कन्सिभ गरेको डेबाट 5 इयर्ससम्म चाहिँ उसले जब गर्न नपरोस् तर 50,000 पर मन्थ खातामा गभर्मेन्ट हालोस् न त होइन अनि उसले चाहिँ त्यसले फ्यामिली पनि केयर गर्छ जब पनि गरेको हामी पनि केयर गर्छ तर त्यो कुरा त अब हामी नेपालमा जस्तो गरिब देश चाहिँ कसरी हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई यस गो
Okay,
र पनि
and
कुरा अब धेरै कुरा डिबेट
so I want to conclude this है अब.
ओके
So she also talks about fatherhood myth यहाँ चाहिँ husbands too can be effective. Sorry, after all they have the fatherhood myth to cope with. A married man is supposed to have children. Often, particularly among Latins, children are a sign of potency. They help him assure world and himself that he is the big man he is supposed to be. Plus, children give him both immortality, whatever that means, and possibly the chance to become more in his lifetime through the accomplishments of his children. And this, so what she is trying to say here is that motherhood, it's not just about motherhood myth. There is also this another thing called fatherhood myth that wants like men to have children as well. So, however, she doesn't elaborate on this thing.
कुन चाहिँ समुदायमा चाहिँ ज्वाइँले छोराछोरी नजन्मेसम्म ज्वाइँले भिनाउने मलाई समुदाय ठ्याक्क बिर्सेँ
नभए चाहिँ कुनै
त्यो छोरीले इलोप गरेर जान्छ फर इक्जाम्पल भागेर गयो होइन अब ज्वाइँलाई चाहिँ तबसम्म टिका नबित्नु जबसम्म सन्तान किनकि सन्तानै भएन भने छोरी त अर्को ज्वाइँमा जानु पर्यो फेरि अनि त्यो भएर भित्र गरिन्छ
चाहिँ छोरीले बच्चा पाएन भने बुढीलाई पठाइदिन्छ
यस
Okay, so let's conclude this now. What's the point then? A world without children? Of course not. So yes, this is what she is talking about. Whatever the points he has raised in these essays, the biological arguments, the arguments coming from the psychologists, psychiatrists, and the religion.
Let me point one thing at the मैले बिर्सन्छु है throughout this if you see the writer brings a lot of scholarly scientific authorities to back up the argument.
Yes.
जहाँ पनि psychologists, sociologists लिएर आउँछ and this makes ethical appeal. So this essay has more ethical and logical appeal. अहिले मैले सम्झेँ and in that sense this essay is very closer to in style to that second essay Night Out. Night Out लिएर आउँछ just like who was the author Night Out? Jane
and Fatima.
Like Anne Fatima, this author also brings a lot of scholarly authorities to support the argument.
Okay. So motherhood isn't about to go out like a blown bulb, and who says it should? Only the myth must go out, and now it seems to be dimming. Yes, the myth must go out, she argues. And how? She says that how the myth is dimming? They speak of adopting children instead of bearing them. The author thinks that these days more women resort to adopting children instead of bearing them. And
कस्तो स्वार्थी लाग्यो मलाई आफू जन्म अर्काले जन्माएको अडप गर्छु भन्ने I feel it's selfish.
so I think that is
कसैले पनि जन्माएको कसको बच्चा अडप गर्नु हुँदैन नि त्यो सरोगेसीको आइडिया छ नि सरोगेसी आफ्नो उमेरमा केही नहुने अर्को भाग It's so selfish.
I think it's ego.
मसँग मानिस छ मसँग मानिस अर्काको उमेरले भाडामा लिएर जन्माउने आफूले बिगार बिगिन्छ मेडिकली म जन्माउन नसक्ने भन्दाखेरि धेरै मान्छेले किन बिगिन्छ भनेर भन्छ नि बाहिर
okay. So
कल्पना गरौँ
so
हेलो लिसन
she relates its biological. Okay, so the author is trying to relate this biological motherhood with the cultural, like that it is said when motherhood is no longer. So she is trying to relate that biological motherhood with the cultural compulsion. So if there is no cultural compulsion, then there will certainly be less of it. That motherhood myth will be less of it. Women are now beginning to think and do more about development of self, of their individual sources. Far from being selfish, such development is probably our only hope. That means more alternatives for women. So, agiko त्यो abortion ko kura is also another alternative that will help women to think about their self-development and their individual resources. That means more alternatives for women, and more alternatives mean more selective, better, happier motherhood and childhood and husbandhood or manhood and peoplehood. It is not a question of whether or not children are sweet and marvelous to have and rear. The question is, even if that's so, whether or not one wants to pay the price for it. It doesn't make sense anymore to pretend that women need babies when what they really need is themselves. If God were still speaking to us in a voice we could hear, even He would probably say, be fruitful, don't multiply. So last she gives the alternative of adopting children, so women can focus on their self-development. They can be fruitful. They don't even without multiplying. Maybe.